Hello! Basingstoke! How the fuck are you? Jesus. That enthusiasm died quickly, didn't it? But you definitely cheered a lot louder whenever she called my name out, first of all. Now it just kind of looks a wee bit like you were more excited by the prospect of me coming to the stage than actually arriving on it. You have to love that whenever you come to a stage and take an entire look at an entire room full of people all just taking one look at you and then collectively just deciding, no. No, he's fucking ginger. No. Paid money for this. Does this sound alright, by the way? Yeah? Well, must just be me, that's weird. It just seems like really Northern Irish or something. Huh? I'm one of you now, by the way. I am, because Basingstoke's nice, isn't it? I've got a house in the Royal Borough now, so I'm middle class, which has come as a fucking surprise to me, as much as anyone else. Telling you, like, I feel now, I'm really struggling with it. Like, I am posh enough to have a favourite cheese, but, like, that cheese is Derry Lee, do you know what I mean? That's the kind of level that I'm at here. I'm from Belfast. Anybody else in? No, there never is. No. I've lived over here for lots of years now. There was a time that having this accent used to be fucking brilliant. Do you remember the good old days? Do you? What's happened there is, like, after the Troubles ended in Northern Ireland, London just kind of went downhill afterwards, right? Because that's where, I'm not even for any bad reason. Like, I spent a lot of time living in London, and it was always my job to call last orders at the end of the night, working in a bar. Do you know what I mean? For some reason, every time I went, you have got 10 minutes to get out of the pub. Place emptied every time. You just don't get the respect these days. Don't let me set this up badly, by the way. There will be no politics in this section of the show whatsoever. I fucking hate politics, always have done. Ever since I was young and I was growing up. When you're growing up in Belfast in the 80s, everything was always about the struggle, right? Everybody's always going on about the struggle. Have you done your bit for the struggle? You get involved in the struggle. And I'd always be like, I'm probably going to leave it, to be honest with you. Why? Good question. Couple of reasons. Mostly, though, because it sounds like it's going to be a bit of a fucking struggle, if I'm honest. I don't know anybody who wants to do something that's a struggle. Like, why that word? Call that something else. I could have been involved. More people could have been involved. The doddle? Fucking right, I'm in. What's involved in the doddle? Doesn't matter. You get a free balaclava, jump in the van, let's go. I feel like people haven't given this enough thought. Like, if you're going to try to market something as massive as a political movement, you need to think about the name a bit better. So, like, the word struggle, whenever I think of it, this doesn't conjure up, like, images in my head of Irish freedom or anything. I think of the word struggle, and it reminds me of the time that I tried changing a king-size duvet by myself. I mean, that's a fucking struggle. Give it a much better name. Like, look at the word jihad. That's a good word, isn't it? Isn't it? Strong word. Not too sure it's going. No, right. If you take the word jihad out of context, even if there was a movie in the cinema called Jihad, you know that's going to be an action film, don't you? Don't you? The Struggle. You're never getting a movie made called The Struggle, are you? Like, at best, that's a Channel 5 documentary. Probably about a single mum bringing up an autistic kid. Fucking struggle. There were no autistic children harmed in the making of that joke, by the way. It's fine. It's definitely fine. That would be a struggle. I just don't like people being disappointed. I think that's what I'm saying to you. Because, like, you know, I am a middle-aged man who is ginger and specky. I have tasted some disappointment in my life. You know, I'm recently out of a very long-term relationship, right? So I'm trying internet dating for the first time in my 30s, and things have changed considerably. I went to meet a girl who, you can tell me if this is weird, she told me, very specifically, for the first date, she was going to dress, in her words, like a kinky foreign secretary. She fucking nailed it. She looked exactly like Boris Johnson. I was looking for more, I'll be honest. Still though, I can remember the most disappointing moment of my life, and it was back whenever I was 13, which is probably a good thing that it hasn't got any worse than this, right? But I want you to picture it. Valentine's Day, 13 years old, you come down the stairs, you see your very first ever Valentine's card on the floor, and you can't believe it, and you pick it up, trembling, all nervous, read it. Find out it's from Father Michael. disappointment you get over quickly, Basingstoke? It's just a wee joke, by the way, you know. I appreciate the fact that it is trite for an Irishman to do pedo preach jokes, but the truth of the matter is that it's actually just funny. It is though, like if I tell you the truth is that I was in the Catholic education system my entire career, and nothing untoward ever happened. You see, that's not funny. It just goes to prove it's only funny whenever somebody's getting fucked by kids. You made that decision, not me. Like I tried, you didn't laugh, that's not my fault. Genuinely, I'm not religious anymore. I'm not anti-religious, and I know that that's not the end thing to be, but it's fine. I'm from a very, very religious family. True bill, not even made up for a joke. My younger brother is actually in training to become a Catholic priest. Yeah, that's normally the reaction that gets. I understand that people think it's weird, you know, if you take what both of us has opted for careers to do, and it seems quite different, but on the face of it, because if you think about it, right, boil the two jobs right down to their very essence, and both of us have opted for a career where we like to stand on stage and tell strangers lies to get them to like us. It's the same job. Not exactly the same, you know. One of us obviously has opted for the much cooler one, where you get to have loads of sex with groupies afterwards. And I went for comedy, but you live and learn, don't you? Like, I said that nothing untoward ever happened. Like, looking back, there's definitely stuff you couldn't get away with in this day and age, but everything's just way too politically correct nowadays. Like, I guarantee, even here, even Basingstoke, no matter where you're from, when you were young and you were in school, if you forgot your kit, would they make you do PE in your underpants? Yeah, see? Told you? PE, sorry, RE. Just me again, yeah. At the big referendum in Ireland this year, think we did the right thing? Of course we did. Of course we did. The big question was always whether or not to legalise abortion. That should never have been a question. That should not have been a debate at all. That should have been ended really, really quickly. Right? I'll give you two reasons, right here and right now, why abortion should have been legalised in Ireland at least 30 years ago. And both of those reasons are fucking Jedward. Therein ends that debate. In fact, fuck it, now we've got it, let's backdate it, go after them, it's not too late. Let's go for it. I have a son now, I have a 1.5-year-old son, I know, but you know, it's tough, because I've obviously broken up with his mum now, people think that that's a negative thing, but what it does is it answers the age-old question, because everybody's always going, well, I wonder what my kid's going to be whenever they grow up. I know exactly what mine's going to be. Someone's fucking stepson. Dark, isn't it? I still reckon the hardest part about having a kid was NCT classes, by the way. Do you remember? Yeah? You know the class, like for anybody who doesn't know, these are classes where you turn up as one pregnant couple and you meet a whole load of other pregnant couples and a stranger tells you that you're going to be best friends with them for the rest of your life. I looked at them and went, seems like a big commitment the rest of my life. I'm not guaranteed I'm staying with her, but them, like. You know what I mean? And then what they do is, they make you go around and, like as an icebreaker, you had to tell everybody in the room what your greatest fear is about having a kid, right? And they're looking for something wanky, so you're supposed to say something like, well, for me, it's seeing my partner in pain and I'm not able to do anything about it. Right? That's the kind of shit that they're looking for. Right? Now picture it. There was a lad in my group called Pete. They asked Pete what Pete's greatest fear is. And Pete said spiders. That's what I was up against every Tuesday night for weeks. Go, what's my fear? What's my greatest fear? Well, two things. First of all, that Pete's breeding. That's one fear. I don't think this world needs more Pete's. Secondly, that I'm going to be best friends with a prick. Not a chance. No chance. But I'm like your first act, Jim. You have to be positive about things, right? Because You can love someone too much. You can definitely love someone too much, and that's a bad thing as well. Like, look at the story behind the Taj Mahal, right? The story, the romance of that whole thing is that someone so loved their wife so much that they built her the most opulent building that they could envisage just to portray their love, right? What they don't tell you is that that woman, his wife, died in childbirth, giving birth to their 14th kid. He has literally shagged her to death. That's how much he loved her. Right? The present that my wife got me 2 years ago at Christmas, she got me an umbrella. I'm starting to think I got the better deal there. You'll probably already know this, obviously, because earlier this year I made my TV debut on the BBC, which, you know, you've all seen, yeah? Yeah? Yeah, no, nobody ever has. Anybody? No. Do you know the reason why? Because you didn't watch the BBC's Ginger Pride March. And I would love to tell you that I made that up for a joke, but that is the level that my career has got to. So it's cut me some slack. It's hard industry to get a break in. I got a phone call one day going, do you want to do this? And I went, no, that sounds horrific. They went, we'll feature your show on the BBC. I went, what time do you need me there for? And all it was, where's the ginger? Gone quiet there. Solidarity, ginger brother, how are you keeping? Yeah? Did you have a hard time growing up being ginger? Bit. You bullied? Bit. Not much? Alright. Sure enough. I get bullied mercilessly, but like, in fairness, I'm not even so much for being ginger. I get bullied for a very specific reason. I was a prick. Don't hear that often. All this march turned out to be was just me arguing with a journalist, because what he wanted was sensationalist quotes to put in, right? So he'd already his mind made up what he was writing before I even arrived. So the first thing that he asked me to do was, could I describe, in my own words, to him, how gingerism in the UK is just as bad as racism in America. Go. And I was like, Jesus Christ, are you serious? I'm fairly certain one of those might be a bit worse than the other one. I go, how can it be though? Thought he was being clever. Getting abused for your skin, getting abused for the colour of your hair. What's the difference? I went, well, there's never been a ginger slave trade for a kick-off. Now, don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying gingerism isn't a bad thing, you know, I'm saying you're never getting a movie made called 12 Years of Ginge. It's not gonna happen. Let's wrap this in some sort of context, shall we? Even the fact that it's a pride march, I think, is going too far as well. Like, the gays have definitely had a much harder time during the year than we have, am I right? Right, they deserve their pride march. The only similarity that I can see between what the gays have gone through and what the gingers have gone through is that, admittedly, some people are kind of disgusted with the idea of us having sex as well. That's it. Nothing else. And you know what, like, at a time, whenever everything's very negative, like, but there's more racism, there's more misogyny, there's more sexism, I honestly think gingerism's getting better. Do you agree? Yeah. Yeah? Do you agree? Oh, good. I mean, like, I have a perfect example of this. I was in London recently, right? I'm walking down the road, and as I'm walking down the road, two young lads come towards me in a car, and one of the windows just starts going down, like that, right? And I knew exactly what was happening, because you know exactly what's happening as well. And as they get close, one of them just leans out and just goes, "You're a fucking ginger!" on the way past. And I stood there that day, as a man, in my mid-30s, reflecting on an entire lifetime in this. And I was happy. Do you know why? That sentence wasn't finished, was it? You know he wanted to put the word cunt at the end of that. You know he did. You know he wanted to go, "You're a fucking ginger cunt!" But even though he wanted to, he didn't. And that shows a progressive society. I have a dream. One day, those people and their ilk, they won't even feel the need to bring our hair colour into it. They just wind down that window, call me a cunt, go about the rest of the day. I can but dream. I also, like, even though I'm not religious, I don't believe in evolution anymore. You with me? No? can't change your mind. You have to challenge things. Cracking beard you've got on there, homeboy. How long did that take you to grow?
3 months.
Are you 3 months? Yeah, I'm not even joking. See that there, right? That's 37 years. I'm actually starting to think that my body has a sense of humour, because like I'm not a naturally very hairy man. I don't have hairy arms or legs or anything. I'm starting to think that my body has saved up all the hair from everywhere else and then just sent it to my arse for a laugh. This is where things get weird for me, because like you're looking at me going, you're meant to have a hairy arse. You're a man, right? Why? I've asked this question loads of times and nobody can ever explain this to me. Why am I meant to have a hairy arse? What purpose does that serve? Are there any scientists in this room that can answer this for me? Right? Because if you believe in evolution, which I'm assuming some of you probably do, right? Right? If you do, then the whole process is that if you stop using something for any amount of time, it gets taken away from us again. So at one point in time, every single one of us in this room all would have had tails. That would be pretty cool. Every single person in this room would have been able to breathe underwater. That's something else that I would be like to do still, right? Yet for some reason, evolution sees fit to take both of these off me, yet leave me with an afro on my ring piece. Why? I'm not buying this shit. No shits. Always ask the big questions. Always, and why is nobody more angry about it as well? Is it just me, or are you worried that I'm going to get it out? Is that what it is? Definitely safe, don't worry. But, to paint the picture, if you imagine me kind of sitting upright, naked, not wearing anything, like if you get the angle right, it kind of looks a wee bit like I'm sitting on Chewbacca. Does that make sense? I actually once went to like see if I could get something done about it, like in terms of beauty therapy or something, but what I didn't want to do was just turn in blind, not know what I was talking about. So what I did was, first of all, I went into the bathroom, right, and I took the mirror off the wall and I put it on the floor like this, and I squatted over it to get a good look. I swear to God, Basingstoke, I saw a slightly better looking Ed Sheeran looking back up. He was winking as well, that was weird too. I've done this gig a few times. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for listening to me. If by any chance you enjoy my stuff, check out my online presence. Like for instance, if you like me, it's ryanmcdonnell.co.uk. If you didn't, it's patrickkeelty.com. Fantastic headliners tonight, folks. Thank you very much. Good night.